Gordraxay, don't you moon me? Hello, I'm Steve.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are the Partners at War. Welcome to our third battle report now. We've had a lot of fun doing this.
We have. I really enjoyed it.
You ready to fight?
I am ready to fight.
Who do we got tonight?
Tonight is destruction versus destruction. We're going to play Squigs versus...
the new Orruk War Clans book with the Big Waaagh.
Nice.
How did you get into Squigs?
Well, I actually didn't get into Squigs at first. First, I started with spiders. I loved the spider models. So we collected 2,000 points of spiders. A little difficult to do at first because they were out of stock for a while. So we had to kind of gather a little here, a little there. Painted them all up, put them on the table, and they got wiped right off the table.
We got a beautiful 2,000 point painted spiders army that you've done a tremendous job with.
Thank you.
But the question is, who do we fight them against in a battle report if we wanted to be all spiders? Because right now they would just get pushed off the table with the other armies we've got.
Yeah, well, so they needed a little muscle. So I decided to support them with some Troggoths. Well, what that ended up doing was meant that I just really loved the Troggoths, so I kind of left the spiders behind and went with a full Troggoth army, which is what I typically play right now. But then the Loon Curse box came out, and I decided, I like the spiders, I like the Troggoths, so why don't I go ahead and try those Squigs?
And what's so funny about this is you made fun of them for a long time.
I did. I was like really bouncing blobs on the table. That's so
we saw
silly.
a battle report. She was like, "What are those?" And now you love them.
I do love them. Once you get the models and you get interacting with them, building them, painting them, they paint up really nice.
Yeah, the contrast paints are great on them.
Yeah, they really do. They pop, and then they would give you a chance to be really colorful. And now I really do enjoy playing them. I've only played them in small groups, so I'm really super excited to play them tonight with a big 2,000 point group of them.
And your first 2,000 point battle this is with them,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
And this is going to be my first 2,000 point battle with the brand new Orruks following the new book.
Right.
We had these Iron Giles models a long time ago. One of the first armies we got. We had them on the shelves, got them for our son. He brought them out to play. And if you were not a really top-notch player, these were a challenging army to have.
It really was.
It was challenging. So he moved on to something else. And then the new book came out. And we thought we'd give it a try.
Right, let's get them out, dust them off, put them on the table, and see how the new rules would play with them.
And one of the decisions you have to make when you play with a new book is which allegiance are you going to play. You can use your Iron Jaws models and just play an Iron Jaws allegiance. You can play your Bone Splitter models and have a Bone Splitter allegiance. Or you can put a Big Waaagh allegiance and combine them all together. Now, we don't have any Bone Splitters models that are assembled and painted. So these are all Iron Jaws models, but I made the decision to go with the Big Waaagh because that's kind of the new different thing. There's a lot of bookkeeping that goes with this, a lot of potential advantages. It's very unusual. So wanted to show that for our audience tonight.
Try it out.
Give it a try. Okay, with that, we're about to start fighting, but I'm going to have two short little video clips. One is I'm going to go over that Big Waaagh allegiance in much more detail, show you how you generate points, what you can use the points for, and how it's different from the Iron Jaws allegiance. And then we found a website called aosreminders that will take your army and break it out into the hero phase, the movement phase, the combat phase, the shooting phase, the charge phase, in the correct order. All those phases, and let you know what your army does in each to really help you during play.
Right. Those little special things, not the nuts and bolts, but the extras.
Absolutely. It's not stats. It's what abilities come when.
And your artifacts, right?
Absolutely.
Things like that, so that you don't forget those things.
It'd be great for, of course, tournament play, but it would even be good for local game store play, or when we're playing. Definitely would have been great to have in all the battle reports to ensure, maybe help ensure errors were not made, which you don't want to make them in a tournament or in a game anyway. Right. So with that, are you ready to fight?
I am ready. Let's go.
Squigs versus the Big Waaagh. Very quickly, I want to go over this Big Waaagh to help you understand the points I'm generating during the battle, and maybe a couple differences between the Big Waaagh and the Ironjaws. In the Big Waaagh, in your hero phase, you generate Big Waaagh points, and you get D6 points if your general is on the battlefield. If you have Gordrakk, you get a flat 6. That's probably his biggest advantage in this Big Waaagh. You also get 2 points for each War Chanter. I have Gordrakk and 2 War Chanters, so I'm going to get 10 points in the first hero phase, and I'll continue to get 10 until Tracy kills somebody, one of those. There are also some figures that you'll get points if you play a Bone Splitter's army. I don't have any of those. But you also, if you have a unit of 10 Orruks that makes a charge, you get 1 point. If you have a hero in combat within 3 inches of an enemy, you get 1 point. Or if you have a unit of Orcs 10 or more within 3 inches of an enemy, you also get 1 point. You generate all those and you keep a pool of Waaagh points. You don't spend these when you get the next abilities I'm going to mention. You can spend those during Waaagh Magic, or if you use the command ability, the Big Waaagh. But there are a bunch of abilities that once you total a number of Waaagh points, you get for the rest of the game, as long as you continue to have that many Waaagh points. And they start with at 4 points. Any Orruk that's more than 9 inches away from an enemy and takes a wound or a mortal wound gets a free D6 move. That's very similar to a generic Ironjawz ability that all Ironjawz have in the Ironjawz Allegiance. But they don't get those if they're the Big Waaagh Allegiance until you have 4 Big Waaagh points. If you have 6 points, you can use Waaagh Magic, which allows you to burn D3 Waaagh points to get +1 to casting, or D6 Waaagh points to get +2 to casting. Can be very powerful at the right moment. That's an advantage that Big Waaagh has over the Ironjawz Allegiance. At 8 points, you get +1 to your charge roll, which you get for free when you're an Ironjawz Allegiance. Laugh at him is a great one with 12 points. You get a free 6+ shrug off to both wounds and mortal wounds. At 16 points, you get +1 to hit for all Orruks. At 20 Big Waaagh points, you get +1 to wound. And that's where you get a +1 to charge, a 6+ shrug off, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. That's scary. At 24 Waaagh points, you can use the command ability, the Big Waaagh, which is where all of your Orruks in that combat phase, you spend at the beginning of the combat phase, get +1 attack. At the end of the combat phase, you roll the die 6. On a 1, all of your Waaagh points are lost. You go to 0 and you start all over. On a 2 to 5, you keep half of them, and on a 6, you keep all of them. The Big Waaagh Allegiance does allow you to pick command traits for generals, spells for your shaman, artifacts for your heroes out of either the Ironjawz lore or the Bone Splitters lore, depending upon who you're taking. You do get a mount trait for 1 hero to begin with, including Gordrakk's mount, and 1 additional hero for every War Scroll battalion. And you do get a War Chanter War Beat for 1 War Chanter to begin with, and 1 additional for every battalion. There are some things you're losing when you take a Big Waaagh over the Ironjawz Allegiance. And one of the biggest things that you are losing is the Smashin' and Bashin'. That is the ability that Ironjawz Allegiance gives, that if you have a unit, entirely kill a unit in combat, you can activate another unit. You lose that with the Big Waaagh. So read through this and make a decision for your specific build, which of these two is better. The Ironjawz Allegiance gives you your war clans, and some of the war clans have some really neat special abilities that you sacrifice when you go with the Big Waaagh. So that's a very rough overview, setting you up to understand how I'm calculating the points and what I'm using them for when we're in this battle report. And here we have 1,980 points of the Big Waaagh with an Iron Fist battalion. Leading it out, we've got Gordrakk himself. We've got a Mega Boss. The Mega Boss has the artifact Destroyer, which 1 time per game, for a combat phase, I can have that axe do a +3 to its damage characteristic. I've got a Weird Knob Shaman. that has the second artifact, Great Green Visions, which will help me get command points. And he's going to try to use that Great Big Green Hand of Gork to move a unit around the battlefield. We got 2 War Chanters, one with a fix and beat, and one with a kill a beat. And then making up the Iron Fist Battalion, 3 Gore Gruntas, a unit of 15 Ardboys, unit of 5 Brutes, who, the Brute right there with the claw, is the Brute boss for the Iron Fist Battalion, and a unit of 10 Ardboys. And that is 1,980 points.
1,980 points of Gloomspite Gitz, all Squig army, except for the 2 wizards, because I don't have any Squig wizards. But I have a Loon boss on a Mangler Squig. He is my general. He has the command trait, Fight Another Day, and the artifact, Loonstone Talisman. Then I have a Loon boss on a giant cave squig. He has an artifact, Clammy Cowl, and 2 fungoid cave shaman. One of them, the one with the purple cap, he has Griff Feather Charm as his artifact. And that is my leadership. Battle lines, I have 2 units of Squig Herd, 12 each, and 1 unit of Squig Hoppers, 5-man unit. Then I have an artillery, which is my Squig Gaba. I have a Behemoth, who is the Mangler Squig. And then I have other units, including a Boingrot Bounders, a 10-man unit, Boingrot Bounders 5-man unit, and then a 6-man unit of Sneaky Snufflers. I am taking the Endless Spell, Scrap Scuttle's Arachna Cauldron, and 2 battalions, Squig Rider Stampede and Squigalanche.
Today we're going to be playing the 2019 version of Total Commitment. That has the table split at a diagonal down the middle. There are 4 objectives. 1, 2 back there, 3, and 4 on the other side. At the end of each turn, you get 1 point for an objective in your own territory and 3 points for an objective in your opponent's territory. Well, we're done deploying. Tracy has set up the Squig Herd. What are these guys, Boingrot Bounders?
Those are Bounders, yes.
Those are Bounders. And your Mangler?
Regular Mangler.
Regular Mangler on this objective. What's that red unit there?
Hoppers. And then
Go
my
through 'em.
Squig Herd.
A Squig Herd.
My Sneaky Snufflers back here. Loon Boss on Mangler. 10 unit of Boingrot Bounders. And then my heroes, I have a couple heroes
And
there.
then you've got a couple heroes up top in that building. Okay, coming into the back here, I've got some Gore Gruntas. A big mass of Ardboys, Brutes, Megaboss, 2 War Chanters, Weird Knob Shaman, and then 10 Ardboys on this objective. Try to get those points. Tracy finished deploying first, so you get to choose. Are you going to go first? Or are you going to allow me to go first?
I am going to go first.
Might give me the back-to-back in turn 2. Are you going to regret that or not? Let's see. Hero phase, Squigs, turn 1. What are you going to do?
Well, before I start, I do want to mention that I put down my Loon Shrine. That was actually done before deployment. So I put that down. That gives me 12-inch bubble of no bravery. I don't have to roll battle shock. And then also after I deployed, I put down the moon in this corner. That won't come out until turn 2. Give me some benefits and things like that, I hope.
All right.
So for my hero phase, I would like to, 1, mention that because I have 2 battalions, I actually start with 2 command points. And then at the beginning of my turn, I'll get 1. And then each of my fungoid cave shaman have an ability that I'll roll 2 dice, 1 for each of them. On a 4+, I get an additional command point.
Wow.
So I get 1 additional
So you
one.
start the game with 4 command
4
points.
command points, which is nice.
That is really nice.
All right, so I am gonna move right on to my spells. I am going to do Call to Moon with the this fungoid over here with the purple cap. It doesn't have any range, but it's an 8 to cast it, and it's D3 damage. So I got a 9. I don't think you have anybody within
Not within 30
inches.
We measured that.
So I am going to pick the War Chanter to take D3 mortal wounds.
Not the War Chanter.
Here you go. He's going to take 3 wounds.
Oh, ouch.
That is the way to start the game.
That is the way to start the game.
All right, my second spell is for, I have a fungoid cave shaman up here in this building. He is gonna cast Mystic Shield. We're gonna do it right here on these little squigs since I think they're kind of front and center for getting a charge.
Okay.
And that is a 6. And I got a 10.
I will try to unbind it.
Oh, I saw that first 6 and I worried.
So they have Mystic Shield.
Excellent, yep, I'm gonna put that little marker there so I don't forget. And that is it for my hero phase.
Movement phase, Squigs.
All right, so not many things are gonna move, I don't think. I'm gonna wait and see what you're gonna do. I am gonna move my fungoid cave shaman. He gets a 5-inch move. I'm just gonna move him back here, just trying to narrow this gap for you to teleport somebody into there.
Since both of us have the hand to Gork to move the unit.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I did decide I'm going to go ahead and run my Loon Boss on Giant Cave Squig. So I'll roll for that.
All right.
Yay!
So he's going, so he's got a 5-inch move.
6,
inches.
yeah, so he'll go 6. And that's okay, but we're going to move him because he has a nice 12-inch bubble command ability that I might use later here.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be fine. But other than that, I think we're set.
You want to see what I'm going to do? Okay, shooting phase.
Shooting phase, 1 shot. Well, 6 shots, but 1 attack with my Squig Gaba. I am going to, because I get a +1 to hit if I target a unit with 10 or more models, I'm going to target your Ardboys there. So they will hit on 3s, wound on 3s. But before I shoot, I'm going to use a command point and use volley fire so that I can reroll ones.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Ooh, oh, look at that, 3 wounds. 5 hits.
5 hits.
3s to wound. Ooh,
Oh,
2. No rend.
No rends. That's 4+. No saves.
D3 mortal wounds.
D3 wounds.
Wounds, yes, sorry, wounds.
5 wounds.
So 5.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and one guy will have 1. Battle shock. They lost 2, the Ardboys. They have a 6 bravery, but with the banner, they have +2 for an 8 bravery. Losing 2, they cannot fail, so nobody will run for battle shock. So
Right.
points.
I get 1 point here and 1 point over here. I was looking, I'm like, where is the objective? Oh yeah, he's under my Gaba.
You put him right on top.
So I get 1 for that one too.
All right, 2-0 going into the Big Waaagh. Turn 1. Now I'm going to use that term Big Waaagh because they are Iron Jaws. They still have the keyword Iron Jaws, but I don't want people to have that confused with the Iron Jaws Allegiance. This is the Big Waaagh Allegiance. This can be a complicated hero phase, so break it down step by step. I start with 1 command point, I get a 2nd for battalion, and my shaman is going to be inhaling some incense, so my guys are getting a little lightheaded too. And on a 4+, I did not get it. I just get those 2 command points.
Oh,
so I did not get the extra command
Just
points.
keep inhaling.
Yeah, he'll keep inhaling. Big Waaagh points, because I have Gordrak as my leader and 2 War Chanters in my army. I will start out with 10, those are my markers, 10 Big Waaagh points, which that gets me for 4 points. I have Zoggum. It will also give me Zappum, which I can use the Waaagh battle magic. It will give me Get 'em, which is +1 to charge rolls. It'll give me Laugh at 'em, which is a 6+ shrug off. Oh, no, that's with 12 Waaagh points. I don't have that yet. That's an important one to know.
shrug off?
I do not have the shrug off yet.
Ooh.
That is with 12 Waaagh points.
I like it.
All right, then the Iron Fist battalion ability is that my leader, the Brute, the one that's got we showed when we were showing the battle reports.
With the claw guy.
With the claw guy. He gets to use once per hero phase for free. He can pick a unit, and if the unit's outside of 12 inches, it gets a free move.
Of an enemy.
Outside of 12 inches of an enemy,
Right.
correct, it gets a free move. If it's within 3 inches, it gets to fight. This is in the hero phase. Or if it's within 12, it gets a charge. And I will pick the Ardboys, and the Ardboys will get a free move in the hero phase. Spells, the Shaman. He's not within 2d6, so he can't puke, and I'm not ready to do a great big green hand of Gork. So I'm just going to cast Mystic Shield on that unit of Ardboys. And with a 3, that fails. You don't have to worry about unbinding that at all. The War Chanter, one here and one there. They can pick a unit wholly within 15 inches of them, which I have a plethora of units to choose from. Plethora. And that will give them +1 to their damage characteristic. So this one will pick the Ardboys, and the other one will pick the Brutes. So they get +1 to their damage characteristic with Violent Fury. Then a second spell, if the Shaman, it's on his card called Brutal Power, is within a certain distance, I forget, but it's more than just being right next to, of an orc unit with 10 or more models, he can green puke again at the end of the hero phase. Of course, no one's in range, so I'm not going to puke.
No puking.
There's been a lot of vomiting in this house with our models over the last couple of battles.
There's been a lot of puking from the models, not just in this house.
Okay. And I will move those guys. That's the end of the hero phase. Well, it's time for this big Waaagh to just run forward. So there's a run here. 1.
Oh.
I will run these Ardboys that have moved in the hero phase. Oh,
that was nice.
That's nice. The Brutes. That's a 3. This War Chanter is a 2. Shaman's a 6. Mega Boss is a 5. Gordrak is a 1. Over here, the Ardboys are a 4. We moved them, but right before we moved them, forgot that in the hero phase, this War Chanter has the Fix and Beat, and he could have done a Fix and Beat, some good, nice, funky rhythms to heal this other War Chanter. And he's going to do that. It was in the hero phase, and they were within 12 inches, which is what the Fix and Beat needs. On a 4+, he heals D3 wounds. Ooh.
He does.
He is healed, Tracy.
Aww.
Yep. All right, all the models have moved. I only have one shot, the bellow from Gordrak, and that's out of range. And there's no charge because everybody ran. There's no combat, and no one died. So there's no battle shock. So it is 2 points for me also. So it's 2-2 at the end of turn 1.
Yep.
Are you ready for the roll-off?
Nope. I'm going to roll for the moon.
You got to roll for the moon first.
All right, here we go. 4. So
That's
this is
what you wanted.
Move, yeah, it is. I'm going to move this into this quadrant, so it will effectively do nothing to you this turn. It will help me on my turn, but nothing to you directly.
Okay.
All right, ready? See who goes first. 3. That's me. Okay, so I get to decide.
And we were talking about this.
And
This is a tough call.
I'm going to go ahead and let you go first. I know I'm going to take some damage because of that, but I think it's worth it to possibly get the back-to-back in turn 3.
And right now, if you were to come in, what are you really going to do when you got a pretty good barricade against this with some squigs?
Right, it's not going to get me your point.
Gutsy call, Tracy.
It's not going to get me your point,
Gutsy
so I think
call.
this is the better choice.
So then it goes to Iron Jaws.
The Big Waaagh.
The Big Waaagh. Iron Jaws. Turn 2. Hero phase. Big Waaagh turn 2. Once again, a lot going on. I get 1 command point to start, and then, of course, the Shaman's going to smoke some of the incense. And yes, he does get 1, so I have 4 command points. Big Waaagh points. At this point in time, it's just the 6 for Gordrak and the 2 for each War Chanter. So I will be up to the 20 Big Waaagh points and 4 command points. The Iron Fist ability, he will use that ability right here. He's the brute boss to make the brutes get a free move in the hero action, so they'll move 4 inches up. Spell from the Shaman. He is going to attempt to the Great Big Green Hand of Gork. But before that, I am going to use Waagh Magic. Waagh Magic is I can reduce the number of Waagh points I have by D3 to get +1 to casting roll, or D6 to get +2 to casting roll. Ooh. I know, decisions. I'm going to reduce it by D3. I reduce it by 2, so I'm at 18. Could you pop that down to 18?
Yep.
And at 18, I did lose Basham. At this point in time, I did lose +1 to wound rolls, but if I make a charge with the brutes and they get into combat, I'll get those 2 back.
Okay.
So that's +1 to the Great Big Green Hand of Gork. Is casting of a 7, I am at +1, and I pick a unit within 24 inches, and I basically pick them up and drop them onto the tabletop anywhere that's 9 inches away from an enemy.
That is magic.
That is magic. I'm going to do it on the brutes right here. So I am rolling an 8. That is a fail. Now the War Chanter, once again with his Violent Fury, the 2 War Chanters, and they have to be wholly within 15. Can you measure to the Gore Gruntas? Nope.
Not wholly, huh?
All right, so I'll put it on the Brutes. That's going to be wasted. I thought about doing fix and beat, but it's an interesting read. On fix and beat, he has to be within 12 inches of the model. I don't think I've seen too many other things that aren't wholly within or within a unit.
Right.
He has to be 12 inches within that wounded Orruk, and we measured and he is outside of 12. Yeah. So there is no fix and beat. And that's the end of the hero phase.
Except for moving those models.
Except for moving those models. Turn 2, movement phase. Just going to move those units up front to prepare for a charge. Brutes are going to run +2. War Chanter's going to run 3. Mega Boss is going to run 2. Shaman's going to run 6. He's going to be able to run +3. Charge phase, Big Waaagh turn 2. Let's roll for the Ard Boys. They have +1. Everybody in the army now has +1 because I have 8 Waaagh points. So +1 to charge, and with the drum it's +2. So they're +3 to the charge. They need an 8.
Ooh,
9 + 3, that's a 12-inch charge. They are going to be fine. The Gore Gruntas need a 7, and they are at +1 because of Big Waaagh. They got it. Because I made a charge of the unit that has 10 or more models, I get +1 Waaagh point. Combat phase. Getting a little ugly in here. 1. I have a unit with 10 or more models within 3 inches of an enemy, so I get +1 Waaagh point, and that puts me back to 20. So I'm +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and a 6+ shrug off. Also, they have Violent Fury, so they're doing 2 damage apiece. The Gore Gruntas. 2 of them got into combat. When the Gore Gruntas charge in, they get that big on a 4+, the unit takes 1 mortal wound. And 2 of them went in, 1 mortal wound.
They have 2 each.
They have 2 each.
Mark them.
I'm attacking with the Ard Boys first. I can't pile in anymore. There's only 6 of them there that are being able to attack. They have 2 attacks apiece, except the leader, who's right here with the big tusks and the axe in the air, gets +2 to his attack characteristic. So I'm rolling 14 dice. They're +1 to hit, so they're hitting on 2s. 13 of them hit. They're wounding on 2s because I'm +1 to hit, and they're normally 3/3. So right now they're 2/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. -1 rend.
I can't save.
They don't have any rend. At 2 damage apiece, that's 22 wounds. You have 1 wound off. You have 23 wounds left. And I just did 22.
Oh, okay.
So one of them is left.
Okay, I'm gonna pile in, and I'm not gonna get fully base to base. I'm just gonna get within 1 inch for my 1-inch attack to be able to hit those Ard Boys.
Because he has a little trick up his sleeve also, doesn't he?
Right, yeah.
You'll see that in a minute, but yeah, there's a trick up that sleeve.
Okay, his first attack is with his Moon Kutta. 5 attacks, 3, 4. 4s to wound. No wounds. His Fang-filled Gobs. 4 attacks, 3, 3. 3 to wound. 3 wound, -1 rend.
-1 rend. They have a 4+ save, so that is at a 5. Ooh, 1, 2 go through.
D6.
D6. Oh.
Oh my
That
goodness.
did not just happen.
Wow. I like it.
Oh, now I do have, because I have enough Waaagh points, a shrug off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on a 6.
Well, I just did 2 of them.
What?
I did 2 of them. You can do 12.
There's not 1 in there.
Wow.
Okay, that just killed 6 of them.
Okay, so let's
You've
do
done
these
12
other
wounds so
attacks.
far? Let's totally up the wounds. 12 wounds so far. Wow.
All right, then I have the Ball and Chain. That's 7 attacks, 3, 3.
5 hit.
3s to wound. 3 wounds. -2 rend.
-2 rend. These are 6s. Not a 1.
D3. So
3, 4, 5.
5.
It's my 6+ save. 3 go through. So that's 15.
Okay, and then lastly the Bastion Sticks. 4 attacks, 4, 4. Forced a wound. Just one, no rend.
No save.
So do you get that after?
I get the 6+ on that? No.
No.
So that's 16.
16.
That's 8 of them are dead.
Okay. And then after he attacks, he gets to move back.
Yes,
Well,
this is the, what?
he gets to move 2d6.
It's almost like this is a little Durthu flashback from our last battle report.
Kind of like that.
You're doing some shenanigans like this again against me, aren't you?
I like it. That was his command ability. Fight another day.
Actually, tell me the truth. After you did that with Durthu, when you saw that, you fell in love with that again.
I was
didn't
pretty
you?
excited.
Yeah. Okay. So how far does he move back? Roll 2 ones. Roll 2 ones.
He moves back
He can move up to 8
inches
back. He's all lonely back there.
Yeah, I liked his beats.
So that's the end of combat then, because I'm not going to pile them in. Even though I could, by the rules, because they charge, I can pile them in 3 inches.
Right.
But nothing, they have a 1-inch range, so they cannot get within 1 inch of something and attack. So even though I can pile them in, I'm going to choose not to. Wow, that was pretty devastating. This guy can be scary. It is Battle Shock phase then. I lost how many of those? 8? And I have an 8 bravery. I have to be within 6 of a hero. Or 12 of my general to be able to use a command point to pass a morale check, a bravery check. I'm not. So since I lost, bless you.
Sorry.
So since I lost 8 and they have a total 8 bravery plus 2 with the banner, that means I am losing this many. That is the unit.
That was a series of dice rolls right there.
Oh yeah, the dice were in your favor right now.
And that's actually good because I forgot to attack with my little squig there. It's like he scared them away.
Didn't get to attack. I'm feeling, you're within how much of this?
12.
Oh, he's within 12, so he's not running.
He's not running.
They did. So at the end of my turn, I get 2 points once again. Bottom of turn 2. Hero phase for these Squiggies.
All right, my turn. I am going to first get my command point. Second, because I am in, my general is in the light of the bad moon, I get an extra command point. Then I'm going to roll for my 2 cave shaman. 4+, they will get 1. Nope. So I get 2. So I am up to 5.
Up to 5.
I do want to activate an ability. Once per game, both of my loon bosses, right here and here, they can eat a red cap mushroom. That means until my next hero phase, I can re-roll the actual loon boss's weapon, all the hits and rolls. Or hits and wounds.
Hits and wounds.
Hits and rolls.
Hits and rolls. All right.
All right. So that's just a given, but I have to say it in my hero phase.
And on the big guy, that's just
yeah, it's just the
it's
melee
just that
weapon
first melee
of the
whack
loon
of the loon
boss.
boss.
Yeah,
because
not the mount.
Because the rest of that scary gob and all that, that's the mount.
You're right. That
does
is
not
not
apply to the mount.
Okay, so
Okay.
casting spells. The first one I'm going to do is the blue-capped fungoid shaman in here, and he is going to do Itchy Nuisance on these gore grunters.
Itchy nuisance.
Itchy nuisance.
What is that?
That will mean that if it goes off, they have to fight last.
What?
Yep, it's an itchy nuisance.
Orcs don't itch. They don't mind that.
All right, so it is a.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's GW. Orcs don't itch.
6 to cast, +1 because I'm in the light of the bad moon.
Okay.
And I got a 7.
+1 is an 8. I will attempt to unbind that one. Oh.
4.
So they are going last.
Yep, they're gonna go last. And
Just
then
mark them with a generic marker. As though they're scratching
marked.
themselves.
you've been marked. All right, and then this fungoid cave shaman is gonna do Call to Moon again. Again, it's an 8 to cast, but I get a +1. And I got a 7.
Ooh, 7 + 1's 8.
Yep.
D3 wounds, and who are you doing that to?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the shaman back out here, hanging out by himself. The reason is because he has that whole teleport thing.
Yeah, you wanna.
So we're gonna try to damage him. So D3, and he takes 3
He takes
mortals.
3.
Now, do you get the shrug off
Yes,
on that?
I do. Yes, I do. And none of them worked.
All right.
There's some shenanigans going on here with this movement phase, I know.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is my sneaky snufflers. I'm gonna pick a friendly Moon Clan unit wholly within 12 inches. I'm gonna choose this unit right here. I roll a dice, and if I roll equal to or less than the number of models in this unit, which I can't fail because I have
so
6,
passes.
these guys will add 1 to their attack characteristic.
All right.
Okay, so I'm doing that, but that means these guys can't move.
They can't move.
That is the stipulation.
That's their movement phase.
Right? Yep, so I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and start over here then for these guys. They get a 2d6 movement. Confused.
And you can re-roll their movement because of their...
Because they are Squig Stampede.
Squig Stampede. Okay.
Squig Rider Stampede. But here is their movement, regular movement. It's going to be 9. And then they're going to run, and the reason they're going to run is because they will be at the end of their movement phase wholly within the light of the bad moon, and any squigs that are wholly within the light of the bad moon at the beginning of their charge phase get to run and charge.
Okay.
So so I'm going to go ahead and run them. So they will go 9 plus 5.
So they can go wherever they want.
Yep. So these guys, same deal. We're going to go ahead and roll for their regular.
Run.
Yep, right. No, their regular. This is the regular move.
They're going to move, which is 3d6.
Yep, 3d6. Wow. So they get 9, 10, 11. I'm not going to re-roll that because it's a pretty good roll.
Okay.
They can run as well. I'm not sure if I'll need it, but we'll go ahead and put it up there as an additional 1. All right, I'm going to roll for them to run. It's 1d6, and they're going to go an additional 4. I do want to make sure that they get there, so I'm going to use a command point to auto 6 that.
And they are within range from that hero.
Right, from the hero.
While Tracy was moving everything, she decided she wanted to run this guy also. He rolls 3 dice, re-rolls the dice, and then ran. He moved 17 inches and came up there. I don't like that. There's one war chanter back here holding this.
He's got the beats.
That's making me a little, and those guys are going to fight last with all of this around. This is not looking good for the Big Waaagh right now. Oh, also decided to run the shaman.
Yeah, we moved him back.
Moving him back.
A little safer.
A little safer back there. On your shooting phase.
Gaba, and he's going to shoot at this. No, he's the shaman.
He's the shaman.
He's the shaman. And I'm going to use volley fire. So I'll go from 5 to 4 command points so that I can re-roll 1s.
All right.
Here we go.
Hitting on a 4, right?
Hitting on a 4 because there's only 1 mod.
And he's too far away from anybody for lookout, sir. Re-rolling that
1.
one. No.
Look at that.
Oh, they all hit.
Oh, 3s to wound.
This is not good at all, Tracy.
3s. Oh, well, 3 ones did, but there's 3 of them.
It's a 5+ save. None of that. He's dead.
Oh, because he has 3 left.
He has 3 wounds.
At least 1 each.
Oh yeah, it is. No, roll.
Oh,
I get my 6+.
All right, here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. I have a dice shortage right now. I'll roll 4, then 2. 2 save. 4 went through.
Still doesn't.
He is dead.
That's enough.
That removes my hand of Gork. That makes them almost useless this entire game with a 4 move. They're going to have to run all over the tabletop, try to make a difference. It is not looking good. All right, we are on to the charge phase.
Charges.
Because your squigs are able to run and charge.
Yes, so everybody who ran can charge because they are all within this quadrant of the moon at the start of the charge phase. Okay. So I'm going to start with these guys, I think. And they went 4.
They're going 4, but they also do have a 6-inch pylon.
They do because they are within the light of the bad moon under Squigalanch. Oh, this guy.
Yes.
Oops, I'll get that one.
Well, he's in with the first one being a 3.
So 6.
6, he's good. The squigs.
Yep. I heard. That one I may have to use a command point.
That's
better. 9. The hoppers. And they got
They're
7.
Good. All right, everybody has moved around. It's a big party around the Gorgruntas. But first, when this unit makes a charge, read what their ability is.
It says,
wow.
After this unit has made a charge move, pick 1 enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit and roll a dice for each model in this unit. For each 4+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
So it's not like the Gorgruntas, it's not like the Mighty Skull Crushers, it's not each model that's within 1 inch. You get 10 dice.
Right. Because there's 10
On
models.
the
in
Boingrat
that.
Bounders.
All right, on 4 pluses.
4 pluses is a mortal wound.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, one less than the odds. I didn't save any. So
4
one
models.
of them has 1 wound left. And they go last.
And they go last, so everybody gets to hit them first.
You were saying you're going to use some command points?
I am going to use command points, yep. I am going to reroll 1s for this guy. I am going to also use his command ability. In that combat phase, you can add 1 to wound rolls for friendly squig units while they are wholly within 18 inches of that model.
That's all of them.
All of them.
Going with that nasty loon boss and the mangler squig first?
Yep, we're going to go with him. We're going to do his moon cutter first. He gets 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, but re-rolling all fails because of that red cap mushroom.
Okay.
Ooh, which is a good thing.
Which is a real good thing.
Okay, so 3 hits, and then wounding on a 3.
Because you're getting +1 to wound because of the command ability.
Right.
Okay.
So all 3, no rend.
Gorgruntas have a 4+ save.
Ooh,
all
all
saved.
saved.
All saved.
Okay. Then we're gonna do the gob, his jaws, and he gets 4 attacks for that. So this is 3s.
And you're re-rolling 1s because of the command
Rerolling
ability.
1s, right. And reroll. Okay. Okay, they
Those
all
are
hit.
3 wounds, -1 rend.
-1 rend.
That's a 5. None of them.
Ooh, D6.
D6 each.
So 7.
7.
Ooh, look at that.
He did save 3. So 4 more wounds.
And then ball and chain, 7 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Because he charged, he gets +1 to his hit rolls.
To his hit roll, so he...
And re-rolling 1s.
And re-rolling 1s.
Okay, they all hit.
All hit.
Okay, and then wounding normally on 3, but it's a 2 because of his command ability. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -2 rend.
These are a 6 to save. Not a 1.
D3. So 3, 6,
What?
9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18. Yeah. 16 more. That's 20 wounds.
20.
They're dead.
All right, I'll take it.
Wow.
That was a nice series of events. I liked it.
Don't go just rushing into the gaping maw of a bunch of squigs under the bad moon.
Yeah, you know, and the moon typically hasn't really thrilled me. It has really done a lot for the squigs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's good for those squiggies.
Well, you wasted some command points. I got that going for me.
I'm wondering if I should move him back.
Once again, since he attacked, he can move back.
I'm going to go ahead and roll for it. 2d6. Ooh, 10.
All right, she moved him back here. I think she's worried about me coming for the objective.
I think
Correct?
I think you're going to
Yeah.
circle around.
All right.
So we have the floating ground.
Hey, with all those mushrooms going on and everything else, things like that happen. Okay. No battle shock because I'm dead, and you didn't lose anybody because I didn't get to attack. So we're done with that turn, and you get 2 points. So we are tied 4-4 at the end of the second turn. This is for the moon. Give it a 6. Make it move twice.
No 6, no
Make
6,
it
no
move twice.
6. 3.
Oh, it's a 3, so it's right in the middle.
Bam, right in the
That is not a good thing for the greenskins. Okay, are you ready?
I'm kind of greenskins too.
You got all cut. Yeah, I guess your guys are. Your riders are. You got a lot of colored
I mean,
skins.
look at, no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There are. All right, here we go. Are you ready for the big roll off?
Yes.
Turn 3.
Ready to go?
A 5 and a 1. Oh, I am going first.
I am not happy about
Yes,
that.
it is. So it'll be the big Waagh. Turn 3. Much shorter hero phase now that I don't have my shaman anymore. I do get 1 command point. I don't get to roll for the extra command point because of him, because you took him off the table. The big Waagh, once again, I still get 10 more points. So I marked it. I'm up to 30 points there. and I will be up to 5 command points with the one that I get.
And that's a max, right? The 30 points.
The 30 points is a max. I cannot get any more Big Waaagh points, but I can call the Big Waaagh.
Well, we're going to see it,
We're going to see that, I think. The Iron Fist is going to use that, the Iron Fist War Scroll Battalion ability, and he's going to make this unit. I was going to make a move, but guess what? They're within 12 inches. So therefore, I have to attempt. If I'm going to use it, everybody's within 12 inches, even Gordrak is within 12 inches. So they're going to have to charge. So they're going to attempt to charge. And that is a 6. That's a failed charge. So that did nothing.
Because we pre-measured and you
We pre-measured, and it was a 9-inch charge, a 10-inch with +1 because of the Waaagh points. They would have needed a 9. 2 War Chanters are going to place their Violent Fury. This War Chanter is going to place it on them, and we measured, is within range of Gordrak. Gordrak's going to have Violent Fury, which gives him +1 to the damage characters.
Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah, that's really scary now. The Fix and Beat, which would be in the hero phase, nobody's injured. For the movement phase, I am going to run this unit of Ardboys, and I cannot spend a command point because I have nobody within range. Oh, that's bad. And I will, for him, the War Chanter back there, he will get a 5-inch run. That will be added on. Other than that, just going to move some models. I did roll for a run on the Mega Boss, and I rolled a 5, so he moved 9 inches back here. Once again, I'm getting a little worried about this guy taking my objective on the backside. We moved everybody forward, and guess what I get? I get a shot. I get a shot. Gordrak has the Inner Bursting Bellow, 8-inch range. I'm going to shoot at that group of Boingrot Bounders. Is that correct?
Yep, Boingrot Bounders.
It's very Dr. Seussy or something like that. All right, 6 attacks, hitting on a 2. Wounding on a 3. That's 4 wounds, -1 rend.
Okay, they have a 4+, save 2.
It's -1 rend. So 3 wounds.
Just 3, okay. So 1 dies and 1 goes to a wound.
And that's the end of the shooting phase. All right, here we go in the charge phase, this very important charge phase, and I do get +1 to the charge for my Waaagh points. And the War Chanter here, I will roll for him first. And he got a 10. The Brutes. This is an important one.
Ooh.
Oh, 11.
Nice.
Gordrak. I am going to spend a command point, and I'm going to re-roll that. That is a 7. That is an 8-inch charge. Gordrak is in there. At the end of his charge, he has some special abilities. Tracy, how many wounds does that thing have?
That thing has 12 wounds.
Okay, I'm only rolling 9 dice, so if I rolled 9 5s or 6s, I can't kill him, which would give me another charge. Something neat with Gordrak. But what he does do is once this model makes a charge move, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 1 inch and roll the number of dice of his massively destructive bulk, which is 9 dice, and it is a mortal wound for each 5+.
Ooh.
1.
He tiptoed in.
Yes, he did. The next kind of neat thing with them is that after this model makes a charge move, you can pick 1 terrain feature within 1 inch, which this terrain feature is, and you roll those same dice, the massively destructive bulk dice, and if any of them are a 6, that terrain feature loses its cover ability for the entire rest of the game. He basically just runs into it and destroys the terrain feature. So I don't think it'll ever become a part of the game, but in kind of showing people how this plays, I think that's kind of neat. And there is a 6. So he destroyed that entire building, and it will no longer provide cover. If he would have killed a model, a unit, with his massively destructive bulk, he immediately gets to make a second charge, which would trigger another massively destructive bulk if it's a successful charge, and so on and so on. The Brutes made their charge back here amongst the Boingrot Bounders, and the War Chanter's going all in at the start of the combat phase. Both of us have some abilities. The abilities that the Ironjaws have are obviously for the Ironjaws' allegiance. He has a command ability that he can give 3 units +1 to hit. The Mega Boss, who of course isn't in combat, has 1 to give units + to hit. And the War Chanter's Kill and Beat picks an enemy unit and all units are +1 to hit against them. The only problem is that with the Big Waaagh +1 to hit at this point in time, pretty much all my units are 2 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
So I can't make that any better. So a lot of those Iron Jaws command abilities are not necessarily beneficial when you're playing them with the Big Waaagh, but that means you're also saving command points.
True.
And what's your command ability you're at the start of the combat phase you're going to use?
I am going to use the Loon Boss on Mangler Squig's command ability, Bite de Moon. All Squig units within 18 inches of him will get to add 1 to wound rolls.
I almost forgot the most important at the start of the combat phase ability that I want to use. I am absolutely going to be spending a command point to use the command ability, the Big Waaagh. And the Big Waaagh is if I have 24 Waaagh points at the start of the combat phase, which I have 30, and my general is on the field, I can use this command ability and I get +1 attack characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly Orruk units until the end of the phase. All of the friendly Orruk units on the table. Then at the end of the combat phase, we see if I lose any Waaagh points or not. Gordrak's going to have a very scary attack. He was given Violent Fury by the War Chanter, so he has +1 to the damage characteristic of all his melee weapons. Plus, the mount trait, Meanin, given to his mount, gives +1 to the damage characteristic of Mighty Fist and Tail. So Mighty Fist and Tail will be doing 4 damage, and everything else will be doing +1 damage. His first weapon is Smasha, and Smasha does have a special ability if it is attacking a hero that is not a wizard, which this is the case. That comes up on the wound roll. He normally has 5 attacks, but he gets +1 attack based upon the Big Waaagh. He hits on 2s. He wounds on 2s. It's regularly 3, but we're in the +1 to wound. This will count as a regular wound you get a save against, but these, if it targets a hero that is not a wizard, and the wound roll is a 4+, the attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds, and then that attack sequence ends. It's not an additional. So you will not get the save against those. So he does D3 mortal wounds. Now, it kind of helped you because the damage characteristic is a D3 +1 right now, so it doesn't get +1. It just does D3 mortal wounds. Okay. But you do get to save against that one, and it has a -1 rend.
So it's a 5. Nope.
This is D3 +1. So that'll be 4 wounds, and these are D3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
He's dead.
He's not dead yet?
Not dead yet. And I had taken the Loonstone Talisman, and so I actually get a 5+ shrug on mortal wounds.
And that's even the one on the charge.
Yeah.
So let's do the one on the charge first.
This is the one for the charge.
Nope.
Nope, that one stays.
And then the other 8.
So I save 2.
2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 then. Plus the other 4.
4 is 11. He has one wound left.
One wound left.
But I have 2
more
attacks.
so... But it was worth a try.
It was worth a try.
Trying to keep him in the game.
Okay, Cunnin has 6 attacks also. It hits on a 2. It wounds on a 2. And it's -1 rend.
Okay, so 5. Nope,
and it does 2 damage apiece. So he is now gone.
So we've piled in our Boingrot Bounders there, and my leader hits on a 3. Everybody else hits on a 4. And then because I used my command ability before my general died, they're still going to get +1 to their wound roll, so they will wound on a 3.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 3 attacks each because they still have the Sneaky Snuffler ability.
That goes until your next hero phase.
Till my next movement phase.
Your next movement phase.
Great. Wounds on 3s. It's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
-1 rend. So with 4 save, these are on 5s. Only 2 save.
Oh, wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do get that 6+ shrug off.
Okay.
That's 7. That kills 2 and puts a wound
done.
on 1. Oh, you're not done.
Because the Squigs still get to attack. Ready?
All right, they're biting me.
Yeah, I'm gonna, the Fang-filled Gobs are attacking. They also get an additional attack because of the sneaky snufflers. And they do also get the +1 to wound rolls. So this is a 4-2. No difference for a leader or anything like that on this.
Yep.
4+.
These are on 2s.
2s to wound. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. -1 rend.
4+ save with a -1 rend. I need 5s. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That does it, right?
That will kill the unit, but they have a 6. They have a 6+
oh, no,
shrug
no,
off.
dang it. I couldn't give myself some kind of like buffer there.
One guy is left with 1 wound.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Wow, they hit hard.
They do.
It's real hard. But I had to go with Gordrak because if I would have gone with the roots first,
Well, I would have attacked and moved back.
you attacked and moved away.
Right.
And that's just
So you had to do
scary.
that. You're right.
Might be a little lucky I didn't do the Iron Jaws Allegiance in this situation because the Iron Jaws Allegiance would have had Smashing and Bashing, and since he killed a unit, I would have been able to pick another unit to go. But that is an Iron Jaws Allegiance, not a Big Waaagh. Going with the War Chanter before you kill him too. He has 6 attacks, but +1 because of the Big Waaagh. He hits normally on 4s, but it's +1 because of the Big Waaagh. And an unmodified hit of a 6 with those nasty sticks counts as 2 hits instead of 1. So, ooh.
Wow.
So those do not hit, but that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits.
Yep.
And he wounds on it's a 3 + 1, so I only need 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no rend.
And it's a 6+ for the hoppers. None.
That's 6 wounds.
So
It's
3
just 1
die.
damage each. Who are you attacking with?
My one little squiggy who was left from before, I piled him in. He only has to be within an inch, so we kind of measured in there. And so he's gonna get 1 attack, and if he can kill this guy, it will free up my unit for my turn.
One little, and he won't get to attack, and the brute won't get to attack, and he has 1 wound left. So, 1 little squig.
Okay.
All right, this is 4-2.
Come on, little guy, you can do it. 1, and you needed 2. Oh my gosh! He tried so hard.
He did try really hard. He tried really hard. All right, I have 1 attack. I'm attacking with the brute.
Are you gonna attack the little squiggy?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He's no threat to Gordrak.
Did you see those big teeth?
Yes.
Don't judge him.
Don't judge. All right, he's attacking with his Boss Claw and Brute Smasher. That is 4 attacks plus 1 attack because of the Big Waaagh. So he is going to hit on 4s normally, hitting on 3s because I'm still at +1.
Ooh, I like that.
And I wound on 2s.
I don't like that.
You don't like that. -1 rend.
Okay, so 5s. 1.
That was good for you because that does 3 damage.
Woo! So
2 damage normally, but +1 damage because of the Violent Fury.
okay, so this guy already had a wound. And then we're gonna take this guy who's farther away. I'm gonna attack with the Loon Boss on Giant Cave Squig.
All right.
Okay, so if you remember in my hero phase, I ate that red cat mushroom, and that means that he gets to reroll all failed wound and hit rolls. And then plus he gets the +1 to wounds because he was in that 18-inch bubble from my command ability.
All right.
Okay, so 4s, rerolling fails. Typically it's a 3, but I get a 2. And I get to, oh, I don't need to reroll fails. So that's 4, no rend.
This is a 3+. 1 goes through. Forgot 6+ shrug off.
Oh, dang it! Okay, so the squig himself does not get the rerolls, but it's a hit on a 4. So 1 hit, 2 to wound, because he does still get that benefit. So he does wound, and that's -1 rend.
That is saved. The hoppers over here attacking the War Chanter.
Yep, so the guys on the top, they get 1 attack each. It's a 5/5. Nope.
Missed.
So the squigs get 2 attacks each. They hit on a 4. They usually wound on a 3, but because of that 18-inch bubble, they wound on a 2.
All right.
1. The only thing is that when my Mangler Squig died, he explodes. So we need to roll for that damage.
We put him back in place and then measured, and it's Gordrak, the guy in the cave squig, the spitter, and
those are the sneaky snufflers.
sneaky snufflers. So we can take him out.
Gordrak. He does take wounds. And then him. He takes wounds. He does not. And then the snufflers do not. Okay, so D3 here.
Okay.
1.
Saved.
And then here. 2.
2. I have 2 things going on at the end of the combat phase. Because someone was killed by either Smasha or Cunnin, I'm going to put a marker on him. He gets +1 attack to his attack characteristics for those, and he gets +1 wound characteristic. So he has 17 wounds now.
Okay.
And then I have to roll for my big Waagh points.
Oh that might go away.
Yeah, you really want a 1 now. You really want a 1.
I often want you to roll a 1.
Oh no!
That is not good for you.
Oh, wow. On your turn, I don't get any of the bonuses from the big Waagh.
All right.
Wow. Battle shock. All yours are within 12 inches of the moon, correct?
The moon gives him the Loon Shrine, 12-inch bubble of no battle shock.
So no battle shock. I am going to spend a command point. I'm within range of my general so that that brute does not run, and I have 2 command points. At the end of my turn, I get 2 more points. So I have 6 points going into the bottom of turn 3. Turn 3, your hero phase, what are you going to do?
Okay, well, first I'm going to take my command point, and then I'm going to roll for a command points for my fungoids on a 4+. Ooh, I got both of those.
You got both of them.
So that gives me, I'm up to 4.
And your leader's not on, so you did not get the free one under the bad moon for him.
For having my general on the field, right?
Spells.
Spells. I am going to try to arcane bolt this dude right here.
Or just kill him, and I don't have an unbind.
So arcane.
And I no longer even have a shrug off, so...
Right.
Yep.
It's a 5, but under the light of the bad moon, I get a +1. And I got a 9.
That's +110. You did D3 to him, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
It didn't matter.
Okay. And then this guy back here, he is going to attempt to summon or cast the Arachnocauldron, and that is a 5, and I get a +1. I have to place it within an inch of him. But because I called it and placed it, it requires a sacrifice, so it's going to do D3 damage to me or any unit within 3 inches of me, so I could do it on them.
Okay.
So let's see what I get. 2.
wounds.
So I'm going to go ahead and take off one of my hoppers. That is my spells. That's my hero phase.
Tracy got all excited.
I did. The whole reason of doing the cauldron was because the cauldron gives me access to all my spell lore. And once per game, each of the fungoid cave shaman can attempt to cast an additional spell. So I am going to try to cast Hand of Gork, which is a 7, and will allow me to transport a unit that's wholly within 24 inches of me. So I need a 7 + 1.
Okay.
7. So it was a 7. I got a +1, but I didn't need it. So that means... Yeah, that means I am going to relocate this unit of squigs over on that point.
You're doing what?
I'm going to relocate these squigs over on that point, which I believe is your point, which will soon be my point.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Gordrak's is not going to be able to kill enough to get the points. That's the limitation when you don't have many models. Those are all within 6 of the objective and 9 away from those guys. Not looking good for the big Waagh point-wise right now. Squigs always have a long movement phase with all this dice rolling.
Okay, so these guys can move 3d6.
I don't think you're going to reroll that because you get a free reroll with a battalion, right?
Right, but I'm going to keep that, and I am going to run them because under the light of the bad moon, they
Squigs
can still
run in charge. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the Mangler, he is going to go 3d6. 6, 8,
9. You're under the math. He's not in the battalion, so he does not get to re-roll that.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But he's going to run because Squigs can run in charge. All right.
Yes, because all Squigs can run in charge if they're in the light of the battle.
Oh, that helps.
The Boingrot Bounders, they go 2d6 for a regular move. Yeah, let's re-roll them. See if they can get any farther. 8.
Yeah, they did.
And they're going to run also. Okay, so they'll go that far. I'm going to go ahead and run my Sneaky Snufflers.
Well, we forgot another way Tracy can damage me with the moon in the hero phase, and we'll go back and do it just to show people how this is done also.
Yeah, in my hero phase, I should have used the moon to do damage to any unit that's wholly affected by the moon, which now that's in the middle, that would be anybody on the table. I have to roll 1 dice equal to or less than the number of models in that unit to take D3 mortal wounds. Since this unit over here has 10 models, I can't fail, so they'll just take D3 mortals. 2.
Well, that kills one because I no longer have my shrug off with 0 Waagh points.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me do that, by the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have moved. I did decide to go ahead and move my loon boss out of combat, so he won't be able to do anything, but at least he's not a sitting duck.
Just creating a wall of defense for that objective with all those units.
I just need to outnumber you.
You just need to outnumber me for 2 more of my turns. Good move. Shooting phase.
Okay, so I get one shot with these guys. He has 6 attacks. And because I'm going to target this War Chanter right here, and it's only 1 model, it hits on a 4. Just 1.
Ooh.
And then wounds on a 3. It does wound no rend.
Saved.
Okay.
Charge phase.
All right, so let's see what happens. All of my Squigs are eligible to charge because they are under the light of the bad moon.
All those guys over there are going to charge Gordrak?
No, these guys are just going to sit tight and keep the point. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But I am going to charge these guys. Let's roll for them. Ooh, they'll get in.
Easily.
I'm going to roll for these guys.
And we measured that, and that's an 8.
They got a 6.
And you cannot spend a command point. At the end of the charge phase, the Boingrot Bounders each get to roll a dice. On a 4+, I take a mortal wound.
So here we go.
Because there's 4 of them, he's rolling 4.
Just the one.
Just the 1 mortal wound. So he is down to 5 wounds.
So now we're gonna go ahead and attack with the Pokin Lances. They each get 2 attacks, and it is a 4/4. But they get, because they charge, they get -1 to their wound rolls. So it's a
Plus 1 to
4/3.
wound roll.
Oh yeah, +1. So it's a 4/3.
All right.
So 2 -1 rend.
That would be 5s.
Oh my goodness.
That was saved.
Okay. Well, and then they get the Squigs, get the same. They each get 2 attacks, and they are a 4/3. So that's a 4/2 for them. Four -1 rend.
3 go through.
1 each.
He has 2 damage, 2 lives left. The War Chanter has 6 attacks, no pluses, no plus to wound, no plus to anything because the Waagh points are gone. I'm going to split those attacks, and the 3 are going to go against the hoppers, the white ones, and the green ones are going to go against the bounders. And he's hitting on 4. Once again, if he hits with a 6, it's 2 hits. So there's 1, 2 on the bounders, and that's it. Wounds on a 3, 2 wounds against the bounders, no rend.
Okay, 4+. Both save.
Save both.
Okay, so they each get 1 attack, and it's 5/5. Okay, so they're done. And then the Squigs get 2 attack. They each get 2 attacks, and it's 4/3. 1 -1 rend.
He takes 1 more wound.
Ah, kill him already.
He has 1. Battle shock here. Are you within 12 of the moon?
So, oh yeah,
You're within so
12.
no battle shock. And you get 1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5.
Hi,
So at the end of
please.
turn 3, it is
9 to
6. Wow. I did lose 1 Ardboy, but with the banner, there's no chance of them running. Are you ready for the big roll off for turn 4?
It always scares me.
If you win this one, it's over. Oh no!
Oh, you win ties.
I win ties, so I get to go.
Okay.
my hero phase, I got 1 extra command point to come to 3, and I get the 10 command points. Gordrak and the 2 War Chanters are still on the tabletop. The other 8 times you get command or Waagh points is during the combat phase or during the charge phase. So I don't get those right now. Violent Fury, you have to be wholly within 15. Gordrak is not wholly within 15 of a War Chanter, so this War Chanter will give Violent Fury to himself, and this War Chanter will give Violent Fury to the Mega Boss. That is the end of my hero phase. In a movement phase, gonna run these hard boys. Let's get in a battle, boys. And I rolled a 2. I have measured and tried to think of a way. There's no way I think I can take this objective in 2 turns, so I've tried to get over to that one. One of the problems with this big base is I can't land him, even with his maximum movement, on the other side with his base being 3 inches away. I'm kind of stuck right now. So he's just going to move in to be prepared for a charge. And I'll move both those guys back to be prepared to charge. One of them will go back to charge the unit back there. And the other one is just going to wait for the pain. I think the only chance I have in 2 turns, and this is still a long shot, is Gordrak's going to, in the shooting phase, do his inner bursting bellow against this big toad. Hopefully weakening him, and then when I charge him, if I can kill him on the charge, I can get a second charge and kill into somebody else, kill all them on the charge, and so on and so on. Is that a plan?
Sure.
Okay, he has 6 attacks. He's hitting on a 2, wounding on a 3. There are 3 wounds, -1 rend.
He has a 5 save, so just a 6. Saves 1.
Oh, so he took 2 wounds.
1 each.
Yes.
So he has 8, so that'll put him down to 6.
Ooh, that's probably not going to happen. Now we'll roll for charges. 5 inch, he will get that. Mega Boss, he will get whatever he wants. Because I am +1 to charge now again. I've got with 10 Waagh points. And right here, and that, I am going to have to spend a command point.
You have a lot, right?
Yes, I do. And I've got 3, and he's a hero, so he can do it. And I'll get in. So he'll be in there. He'll be in here. And Gordrak's over there. We'll be in that.
Mighty bulk.
Gordrak's massively destructive bulk. That's what they call it. He's going to roll his 9 dice, and on every 5+, you suffer a mortal wound. 4 more mortal wounds.
Okay, so that'll leave him with 2.
See?
Best
the plan was close to working.
Diabolical.
The start of the combat phase, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 heroes within 3 inches of an enemy, so I get 4 Waagh points.
Do you
so
get
I'm up
per
to 14.
charging 2 successful charges?
Only successful charges if you have 10 or more models in the unit.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Beginning of the combat phase. I spent 1 on re-rolling the charge.
Yes, you did.
And I'm going to spend another 1 to allow this to re-roll 1s.
Why are you afraid of my squiggies?
I've got to, because I do not get +1 to hit, and I do not get +1 to wound. I do not have not enough Waagh points for that. Wish I'd have given Violent Fury to him now, because he's going to have no problem killing when I use his artifact. So 6 attacks, 4s, re-rolling 1s. Oh, I'm glad I did that. Gave me 2 more hits, and once again, when he hits with a 6, those count as 2 hits.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wounding on 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No rend.
Okay, they are 6+. Saved 1.
So 2 die. Now it is your turn to pick a unit.
Oh, I am.
You going over here?
Nice try. I actually think I'm gonna try to damage this guy. They have 2 attacks each, and it's a 4/4.
And we piled them in. They have a 6-inch pile in right now?
Right.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 4s to wound. And -1 rend on 3 hits.
That is a 3+ save, so it'll make it a 4+ save with the rend. 2 go through.
1 each.
1 each.
The squigs get to attack, and they are 4 3s.
Oh, wait a minute. Nope. I get the shrug-offs for those also. None of them worked.
So that's 4s, and then 3s, and that's 4 hits, -1 rend.
This will be a 4+. 2 go through.
1 each.
6+ shrug-off. 2 more. It's down to 3. I am then going to go with my War Chanter. And he will go, and he has Violent Fury, so he's doing 2 damage a pop. And he is going against your Boingrod Bounders.
All of them?
Yes, all of them. They're a whole lot more dangerous than the others. 4s, but once again, 6s count as 2 hits. There are no 6s, but those hit. Wound on 3s. All wound. No rend.
4 to save. 3 saved.
Oh, because those are
2
2
damage,
damage each.
It still kills 1.
Yeah, oh yeah, it still kills 1.
Was that sarcasm?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, I think I'm going to go over here with my Squig Gaba.
You've never had him in hand-to-hand, have you?
No, this is the first
This is
time
the first
he's
time.
actually, I had to look up his stats. All right, so
Actually, he's a little better than you thought.
he is. Not that I want to put him into combat very often, but if he's forced to, at least he can fight for himself. So the bastion sticks of the little grots, they get 3 attacks, 5/5. Nope, nothing. But his cavernous maw gets 3 attacks, and that's a 3/3. That didn't help. So we played up how he was so dangerous.
Yes, that happened. Because he does D3. -2 rend D3.
-2 run
Wow.
D3 it would have done.
I am going to go with the Orruk Mega Boss, and I'm going to use his artifact, which is the Destroyer. And the Destroyer is once per battle. I can use the Destroyer, and I add 3 to his damage characteristic. So that means it is a 5 damage characteristic. Oh, but since Violent Fury has been cast on him, that is +1 more. So he's doing 6 damage a hit right now.
Yay!
That's awesome. That is 6 attacks.
You could roll 6 ones.
I'm still not +1 to hit and +1 to wound. I maybe should use a command ability. I have 1 point left. So these are 3s. Oh.
6 ones?
No. And these are 3s. Only 1.
Woo!
Only 1.
Rend?
It is -1.
Okay, so 5s. Come on, baby! Oh, that's
That
not
is
gonna do it.
6 wounds.
3 die.
Oh, he should have killed them all. That should have been all. Violent Fury, Blow and Destroyer.
Hey, I just rolled 2 1s and a 2.
Yes, you did.
We'll just go ahead and do the hoppers.
All right.
They're quick. The hoppers get 1 attack each at 5/5. 1. No, close. But their squigs get to attack. They get 2 each, and they're 4 3s. 2 -1 rend.
-1 rend. I have got, these have to be 5s or he's dead. War Chanter is bye-bye. Tracy, you just don't want to take that guy off the table?
No, you have to kill him. He is
I
not
have
going to just leave.
Honestly do it? Okay.
Yes.
He has +1 to his attack characteristic because he killed a model. He's strength from victory. So right now he is, Smasha is hitting on a 2.
Who do you kill?
Your Loon Boss on the Mangler?
Oh, that still counts?
Yes, the rest of the game.
Oh, man.
So that is wounding on a 3. So those all wounded, -1 rend, 4 of them. 4 saves, you need 6s.
Here we go. No.
And they do D3 each.
He's only got 2.
He's dead. That's just his first attack. I was doing to my War Chanter back here.
They each get 2 attacks, and they hit on a 4/3. Okay.
That's pretty good. Ooh, that's a good roll for me.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1 rend.
These are on 5s. Took 4 wounds.
Yep, 1 each.
He has 2 left. All right, you lost 2, and they only have a 3 bravery.
Yep, so let's see if any run. 5, 6, 7, so 4 will run.
So when Squigs run on a 4+, they do a mortal wound.
Right, I think they get all excited and they just bite whatever's close.
That's actually, you're glad some of them ran.
So 4+, 3.
3. Now he does get the shrug off, which I forgot to do the shrug off on his previous.
Oh, we should probably do that too.
None for the previous, and none for this. He is dead.
He did.
Oh, that's not good at all. You have this over here. You said they have a 5.
A 5.
And 3 of them ran.
Right, so here we go. 5.
There's a 5. You're good to go. And these guys lost 1.
They're within 12.
And they're within 12. So at the end of my turn, I'm still getting that 1 for 1. I'm not getting my home 1, and I do not take that 1. I only get 1 point.
So that's 7.
You can basically not move and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right, there's no reason to play that out.
No reason to play that out.
As fun as it is.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's over. You cannot move and get 5, and your points will be what?
14.
You'll have 14 to 7.
Yeah, 14
and there's no way. That's it. That was a good game.
Good game.
It was fun. That was fun.
fun.
That was the first time I've played against the Squigs like this, and I think it's one of the first times.
It's the first time I've played a full Squig army. I've thrown a few Squigs in, but that's the first time. I say full Squig, a couple not, but the majority of that was Squigs doing
So
their
we're
job.
calling it halfway through turn 4 that the Squigs win pretty sizably.
Yeah, but it was nice to see the new rules, the Big Waaagh, and see how that all played off.
Yep, we'll talk about this more in the wrap-up.
Yeah.
That was a good game. I had a blast. It was a great game.
It was a great game. I am a little floored, but yeah, it was great.
I want to see them played against some other armies to see if they are as strong as that happened, or if that was just a really good matchup, or if there's ways that that army can be built differently. I don't know, but boy, the Boingrot Bounders, they hit hard.
They did. They hit hard. And they have that 4+ save, which I think is a huge advantage.
In a Squig army.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't have a lot of things with 4+
I got
saves.
a lot of 4+ saves.
Yeah,
but
I don't
yours,
have a lot of 4+ saves.
But the Mangler Squig, he hits tremendously hard.
Lots of attacks. Using the advantages.
That ability to back up that you gave him. Was that an artifact or was that a command trait?
Command trait.
That's a command trait for him to back up. Very similar to we saw Durthu do in one of our previous battle reports.
Yep.
I really would like to. We're going to have to replay them. We're going to have to replay them against some other armies and see if they're that strong, because that was a little shocking to me. I think so much shocking, that's one reason I pushed forward so much. Because
Right, yeah.
I really just thought this was going to be a
I didn't look
walk
all
right
that
through.
threatening.
No, not at all. Not at all. But, so what are some critical moments in the game?
For me, just some things that played in my favor. That moon was to my benefit the entire game. And honestly, with as much as I've played with the moon, that's the first time that's ever happened for me.
Well, it was also the objective. We could sit back on each of our objectives, but you had farther range with your shooting. You had, I think, better distance spells. I had to move forward, so the scenario kind of pushed me into your moon also.
Yeah.
So those really were to your advantage. But outside of the moon, you had a couple moments that were huge.
I think when I saw that you might leave that back objective open and moving that Mangler Squig that direction, I think it made you pause and say, oh, wait a minute, I can't leave this back objective open.
At that point in time, I realized the only way I could potentially win is just to push forward and to take her objective. And when you push that Mangler Squig out, I just went, I'm going to have to keep somebody strong back here because I know that's a strong unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge.
I have to say, when you brought Gordrak at me,
He was vicious.
that was scary.
He was vicious.
Oh my gosh. So I think the only thing as being the weaker army at that point for me to do was to not fight you. Just to come on back and hole up. I outnumbered you because even though he's a super powerhouse, he's still only one figure. So all I had to do was outnumber you and outlast you.
And that's a great moment that if you're new to this game, watch that part right there with what Tracy did, because it's not about winning battles, it's about winning points. And that decision to back off, organize it in a way that I could not in 2 or 3 turns kill everybody because he's only one model. Some people make an argument it should be based upon wounds for an objective versus model count, and I can see that, but regardless, that's the rule right now.
Right.
And so that was a brilliant move.
Yeah.
That was an absolutely brilliant move.
I think another key point was taking out your Weird Knob Shaman, so then I didn't have to worry about later in the game you teleporting anybody.
Which that was coupled with me leaving 10 Ardboys on that one objective, and then they're so slow. My thought was to teleport them the entire game. You kill the Weird Knob, it knocked that off. A critical moment was charging in the Gore-gruntas. I probably should have held them back. I think I just thought they're squigs and I'm going to walk right through them, and I got a little cocky, and wow, they got hit hard.
Yeah.
They got hit really hard. And then when I rolled the 1 and lost all the Waagh points, I mean, I think the game was almost over by then, but that was it. That just
Yeah,
seemed
I actually felt for you on that one.
But without that, I would like to try that battle over again with some different scenarios to see if it would play different. But that'll lead to my largest takeaway is I don't know if the Big Waaagh is the method I would go moving forward. And the reason why is it has a lot of advantages. It scares people that all those people are 2 to hit and 2 to wound.
Oh my gosh.
And then I can use the command ability to Big Waaagh, and everyone gets +1 attack. But to really make that work, you have to have Gordrak, in my opinion. If it's another general, it's a die 6 of Waagh points versus 6 Waagh points.
6 flat.
And if you roll a 1 the first turn and a 1 the second turn, the entire Big Waaagh reason for taking them goes away. So the issue is he is so expensive, and the model count is incredibly expensive in this army that you don't have many things on the tabletop. You can win a toe-to-toe fight, but can you take objectives, especially when there are 4 objectives on the battlefield?
Yeah.
If there are 2, you might be okay. But when there are 4, you don't have enough models. So when we play them again, I'm going to try the Iron Jaws and try to have more models on the board.
Okay, not take that big expensive Gordrak.
And if I don't take the Gordrak, I would rather try the Iron Jaws allegiance instead of the Big Waaagh allegiance, because you get other things they're just given with the Iron Jaws. You don't have to store up the Big Waaagh points for
And
them.
I think you missed that smashing and bashing moment.
Yes, where I could have killed something and had something else attack, which you get with the Iron Jaws, you don't get with the Big Waaagh.
Right.
So they're expensive, and I don't know if this is the right build. Brutes, there's an argument online that Brutes are not worth it versus Ardboys. Hard to tell in that battle, but I would tend to lean that way right now. I think the jury's still out, but I would tend to lean towards more Ardboys instead of Brutes. Gore-gruntas are great for positioning. How about you? Anything from yours?
I personally did not realize how advantageous it would be to have the Loon Boss. I think I would make some adjustments so that my second Mangler could also be a Loon Boss. I really love that command ability where he gets that 18-inch bubble.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I would have had another unit of Squig Herd, except I didn't have one, so I used the hoppers instead. And I didn't really love those. So that's how I would change it up. They can, but they get there and then with a 6+ save and stuff, I don't feel like they were resilient enough to really hold their own. Now, maybe in bigger numbers, but I really love the Squig Herd. I think that that is a undervalued battle line unit.
And your build, having the ability to re-roll your movements with all those things, that's a great build to add on. And what was the other battalion gave you?
It was to re-roll my move, or if I was in the light of the bad moon, I had a 6-inch pylon.
Which is always huge.
Yeah, which is advantageous. We didn't really maximize that in this game, but I can see how that'll be an advantage.
But the Squig's ability under the bad moon to run and charge is a fantastic ability.
Especially when you spend the whole game under the bad moon.
I look forward to playing them again, and I hope they're that resilient and that tough, because I'd love to see other people play them. Yeah. They are amazing figs. They are cute. I said it. But, okay, with that, we have not determined exactly which armies we're going to play in our next battle report.
I know. We have a couple choices.
We got a couple choices.
Really sure.
It's a busy time of year. Thanksgiving coming up. I've got some things with work that I'm going to be away. And we did get the Feast of Bones and the Bone Reapers to come in. We'd like to do the Bone Reapers. Just don't know if we're going to have them painted in time to be able to be in our next battle report. So we can't leave you exactly with what will be next in the next battle report, but
we will definitely have one.
We will definitely have one. Thank you very much for watching, and we are the Partners at War. Toad, those dice were marking our deployment zones. Do you realize that?
Do you care?
You just don't care at all, do you? So that was a straight line as you started playing with those couple dice down there. That's all right. I can't give enough praise to aosreminders.com and the web-based app they have made and how easy this is going to make planning for my games moving forward. You have a during the game section that is just overall during the game that'll talk about your War Scroll Battalion abilities, your Big Waaagh Allegiance abilities at the different points. Then it breaks it up into the start of the hero phase abilities, such as Great Green Visions from the artifact that I gave my Weird Knob Shaman. Roll dice at the start of your hero phase on a 4+, get 1 command point. Great place to have that as a reminder. Then it breaks it down into during the hero phase, end of the hero phase. Do find every once in a while a small error. The War Chanter's Fix and Beat was not placed into this during the hero phase, so I wrote that in. But for the most part, everything's here. During the charge phase, all of Gordrak's stuff that he does, his massively destructive bulk, is all right here for you. The start of the combat phase, once again, I put his War Chanter's Kill and Beat. It didn't have the beats in here. Then continues the start of the combat phase, during the combat phase, and the end of the combat phase and during battle shock phase, such as Orruk Guard Boys, the Gorka Morka Banner Bearer. You can add 2 to the bravery of all models in a unit that includes any Orruk banners. It's great stuff to have. You'll notice I did not have any movement phase abilities in here. Well, that's Iron Jaws. They don't have any. That's Orruks. It's a very easy to use app that actually allows you to input PDF printouts you create from Azir. So when they're all broken down into here, I can actually show saved armies, and there's my big Waagh, and here's a new 3 trees that is a Sylvaneth build that I'm working on right now. And it has all of the abilities and everything else put into there straight out of Azir. And if I then download it, there it gives me a printout. Printout with all the Sylvaneth abilities right there. And now I can just print that up on the computer and bring it to a game. There's a subscription service. I think it was $5.99 for a year. Well worth it. That it saves all the armies, has everything done for you. As I said, interacts with Azir. I think it's fantastic. I think you should all check it out.